Owl City. We can talk about Owl City.
I want
if you want
to, dude. No.
This will be lengthy.
One of the questions is, what are your top three musical influences? So let's get into Owl City.
Yeah.
Would you say that Owl City is your like number one musical influence?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I know.
Well, not specifically Owl City, but like, I don't know if y'all know this, but Adam Young, he's the guy behind Owl City. So he made like all that Owl City shit by himself. But he also had...
And you were like pre-Ocean. What is the first what is the Fireflies Owl City album? Is it just self-titled?
That was his third album.
Okay.
But he had a ton of side projects. Like he made IDM, he made like ambient instrumental music, he made like acoustic like singer-songwriter shit.
Right.
He was kind of he made like screamo shit. He was kind of
my God.
Yeah, he made everything.
What?
Under all these different names too. And you know, I found out about him when like most people did, like through Fireflies.
Yeah.
And it didn't really like grab my interest in like that crazy of a way, but I just remember getting an iTunes gift card one year. And I was about to go on a long flight, so I was like, I should buy something to listen to.
Yeah.
I'd never bought an album before, and I was
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm gonna buy it.
How old were you in this?
Like 12?
12? Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
I was like,
dope.
I'm gonna buy my first album.
Yeah.
And I like looked at Ocean Eyes, which is the album Fireflies was on.
Banger.
And I was like, that looks kind of cool. Like, Owl City's a cool name. Obviously, I knew the song Fireflies.
Yeah.
And I could listen to the previews on iTunes. I was like, this is cool.
Dude, the iTunes previews.
Yeah, like you'd get like 30
I
seconds
forgot
of the
about
song.
that. Yeah.
And I was like, this sounds like, it was more the idea of it. I was like,
Right.
the name and like the cover art, I was like, this looks dope.
Wow, like aesthetically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I bought it. And then it was like exclusively what I listened to for like a long time.
Dude,
And very shortly after that, I found out it was made by one guy.
wow.
Like, on this program called Reason. So that's why
Oh, you start with Reason?
I started with Reason.
Oh my God.
And then, like, I kid you not, I consumed only his music for like, from the age of 12 to like 15, 16. And I started getting into more stuff at that point, but still it was mostly him and like all of his side projects.
So when you were, how did you find the side projects? Like, were you like big on the internet at this point already?
Yeah, like I was reading his blog and like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like he had a blog where he was a really good writer. He would just write.
Dude,
these,
who
like,
is this guy?
I know,
Oh my God.
He was just like this dude from Minnesota who was just good at making things. But yeah, I was like super into like trying to uncover like different songs of his that were on these weird different like artist names that he had started. And it was definitely finding him that made me want to sing on my stuff.
Yeah.
But I kind of, because I was so young and impressionable, I was like, I'm going to follow the same path he did, which is where he made a ton of instrumental music and put that out.
Yeah.
And then Owl City came later, which was his first attempt at singing. And like, that's what like really was popular.
That was the one. Yeah.
So I was making like all instrumental music. And I would sing and I was figuring out how to process vocals and do that on the side. But like my interest was in making these like ambient albums.
Yeah. How old were you at this point? Like 16?
No, like 13. Well, I got Reason at 13.
Okay. All right.
I was making all ambient stuff.
Yep.
And then when I got older, I switched to Ableton at like 16 maybe. And that's when I learned how to make like hard hitting.
So what like brought about the switch to Ableton?
Oh, it was one singular thing. Reason they do now, but they didn't have third-party plugin support back when I had it.
What? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So you could only use the stuff that was in Reason.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I was just like, dude, like, I feel like I learned the basics of music making just like fucking around in Reason, because none of the videos I watched applied to Reason, because they're all like, oh, how to do blah, blah, blah in like Massive or like, all these weird.
Oh, that shit was so annoying.
I know. I was like, dude, like I can't even, like, even if I could buy that, I can't use it in my software.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be able to, I think it was Massive specifically. I was like, I want to be able to use this So I got Ableton just to do that.
Dude, I remember like being on GarageBand on like my family's like desktop Mac and being like, how to make wobble bass in GarageBand. And then just like a bunch of massive videos came up. I'm just like, I can't, like, what do you want me to do with this?
That's what I'm saying. Any tutorial you looked up, like they were showing you how to do, because Massive was like the shit.
It was,
that was around like Skrillex.
Yeah, it was infuriating. I mean, obviously, but
yeah. So,
I remember when Serum came out and I heard like one of my EDM friends be like, it's replacing Massive. And I was like, fuck Massive. And then like, just because it was like throughout my life, I just like couldn't have it. And I bought Serum like immediately. Like, it was like, what? Yeah, just like, I purchased it. I was like, give me that. I think I was on like cracked DAW at the time, but I like bought Serum out of spite. I think, okay, first of all, this gets into something that I think is like super important, where it's like when you first start making music, like, you don't pay attention to third-party plugins, because I know now you're like a huge user of third-party plugins.
Oh yeah.
But like at the time when you're first getting into it, I think like a lot of people fall into like a trap of like, it's just like, I need to buy a plugin to make it sound good. And it's like, sure, yes, but like, I don't know. There's a certain amount of understanding that comes with like fucking around in stock that is like super special.
There definitely is, yeah. And I think even in Ableton too, like there's probably a solid, like, my first, like, 2-3 years in Ableton was, like, all stock before I started getting all the other stuff. Or I probably bought, like, just Massive when I got Ableton.
Yeah,
because I was like, I need to have it.
Dude, I mean, fair enough. Like, if you're trying to, like, do any emulation of, like, what people are doing, it's kind of like you got to get Massive.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think your... I was going to save this question for later, but what is your, like, one... Okay, actually, I'm going to expand this question. What was your favorite Reason stock plugin? Like most memorable. What is Thor?
Thor was this synth in Reason that Adam Young used to make the Fireflies. Like,
that was the one?
Yeah.
Yo!
Thor.
What a hoe for making Fireflies just raw stock plugins on Reason.
I mean, the thing is, I think it is basically just a sine wave with like delay, but with like zero attack, so it clicks.
Yeah. And then fucking I mean, dude, people were into Reason, like fucking Allure Dance.
Yeah. I remember watching the video on that.
Was that like sax sound recorded in, or was it like?
No, that was a preset on what was it called? NX30 or some shit. Dude, like the sampler.
That's a
that
nice
was
sounding goddamn thing.
Reason had some funny, some like.
Dude, is Reason the one that like you could like wire shit? Like you could like turn it around and it had wires.
Tab and everything
flipped around.
It's like, why the fuck?
That's kind of hard though. I remember seeing that like in like the one music technology class I took. One of my friends was using Reason and I was like, what the fuck is that, dude? Like,
because I think the DAW was designed to work like analog shit.
Yeah.
So it was made for like analog heads to get into the digital world.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Okay. That's dope. I mean, you know what? Respectable. Respect.
It was a good DAW, but yeah, it was just like, I mean, they have third-party plugin support now, so I'm sure it's...
They sold out. Anyway, moving on. Moving to your Ableton phase, what do you think currently... Is there an Ableton stock plugin you can't live without? Or what is your favorite one outside of that? Do you use any Ableton stock plugins right now?
No, that's what I'm trying to think.
Okay, what is from your days?
Well, I have an answer. It's auto filter, but it's literally like it's a low pass and a high pass. That's what it is.
Fire. That's a great answer. Yeah. That is actually a great
I use
answer.
That all the time, but and I use
you'll automate
Ableton's EQ sometimes. But other than that,
whack.
I'm a huge slut for third-party plugins,
Facts.
as you would say.
Facts. I mean, and then also, I guess you have like Max for Live, which is just like such
but I still haven't dove too far into that.
Yeah, I remember seeing like that one bouncy one where you could just like take notes and it'd be like, and I was just like, what? Ableton's crazy, bro. I have so much respect for that. So then, what is the third-party plugin you can't live without?
This is actually such a hard question. It was FabFilter Pro C2, which is their compressor.
Yes.
But then I stopped compressing stuff so hard. So I don't even touch that anymore.
Damn.
So that's what I'm trying to think, like, what would it even be now?
I don't know. Is there like something you put on like every channel? Like, what kind of EQ do you use?
Pro Q, but
Okay.
that's a boring answer.
All right.
Dude, wait, this question is like bothering me.
I gave you the questions.
I know. And that was the one that I skipped over because I was like, I'll answer that. I'll be able to answer that so fast. You know, I'm gonna say Serum. I'm gonna say Serum.
Serum's a classic. Yeah. That's a great answer.
I'm gonna say Serum because anytime I want to make a sound that's in like the synth realm, like it's just Serum. Like I don't even like touch other synths at this point.
Yeah, no, Serum is kind of a go to everything. You can just about do whatever you want.
Exactly. Yeah,
which is terrifying. I like barely. I have one sound that I use Serum for. I made like one preset like years ago that just goes like. It's just like, and it has like a super long like glide time. It's basically just like a saw with chorus on it.
Dude, that's the thing about Serum though, is like just like basic shit and it sounds incredible.
It does. But I'll often find myself making a sound in Serum and then being like, oh, fuck this. And then I'll go into retro synth, the Logic stock synth, and just be like, let me see if I can just make it in this. But the noise generator is so nice in Serum. So shout out Shaperbox because that's what I use for noise generation most of the time. Anyway, Shaperbox.
What is
fire? It's just like it's like a suite of envelopes basically, and so like you have like a volume envelope. There's like distortion, time. So like you can kind of cheat like a halftime plug in like gross beat type of thing.
Oh,
and not the same. FL Studio has some of the coolest stock plugins.
Oh, yeah.
Like Logic will have like the most powerful like mixing plugins or whatever, but like FL Studio stock plugins.
They're really creative.
It's beautiful, yeah. And like also shout out the fucking soft clipper in FL Studio. That is beautiful. If you want to not master, if you want to not master anything, just turn it up into soft clipper. That is beautiful. But yeah, no, Serum. You can make anything in that bad boy.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you uploaded?
Like ever?
Ever.
Oh, dude.
And how old were you?
I uploaded like an ambient album that I made when I was like 15, maybe.
How many songs? How long was it?
It was 12 songs, 50-minute runtime, a
50?
longer
50?
runtime than my entire current discography. It was about, so I watched the movie Spirited Away.
Yeah, for the first time.
Yeah, like
At 13.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you say 15? Sorry.
I was either 14 or 15. Yeah. I didn't see any of the Ghibli stuff when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I saw Spirited Away.
Good. Spirited Away is terrifying.
I know, you said it was creepy, right?
It fucked me up. I was like 6. Anyway, go on.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But like that wasn't my experience because I feel like I was at an age. Yeah. It was like perfect time to see that movie.
Yes. Yeah.
And it just like changed my entire perception on like art in general.
Yeah.
And so I made an album about, I used to take the train to school every day. Wow. So I made an album about like, I thought it was such a cool concept, but it was so basic. It was like, because there's that train in Spirited Away. I was like, yo, what if I was like on that train for just like days? Like that was the
That's so fire though, bro. What are you talking
And it was
about?
like there were different rooms in the train. Like one of the songs was like the garden room where like you open up the doors and there's like a terrarium in the train.
Does this still exist?
Yeah, it's not on the internet, so don't try to look for it. But
Yeah,
I can show you.
I'll show you. Fuck out of here. This is exclusive, all right? When y'all are paying to live with Elroy, we can... We pay Elroy. We all pay Elroy to be in his presence. Damn, that actually sounds fucking dope. So you still like have this?
Yeah, it was a concept album. Like all the songs bled into each other, and there was a ton of like.
Damn.
I collected all these field recordings like on my days going to
Fred
school
again.
and back. Yeah. Like, it was
so sick. I've got to produce on the train. It's the only place I can really get the sound of it. It's amazing.
No, I did not. I still to this day feel like I have to be sitting down in like a more normal setting to produce.
Right.
But like collecting the samples and stuff was that was like all in the train.
Dude, so each of these songs are like 6-7 minutes long or
12
divided
I'm bad
by
at math.
50. Yeah, like 12.
4.5 minutes, maybe? Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay,
yeah.
well, that's not that great. That's not. I was kind of, yeah. You said 50 minutes, and I was like 11-minute songs, but yeah.
Well, no, because 12 songs is a decent amount of songs.
Yeah, that is. That's an album.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So that was my first.
Can you release. Describe the soundscapes?
It was super soft and a lot of piano. Mm-hmm. I recorded on my family's piano. Mm-hmm. A lot of soft like pad noises. It was just very relaxing.
Can you make a pad noise that you would have made a... Yeah. Yeah. No, I actually got that, bro. No, like, but like also like, yeah, I like the... And like the Illuvium pianos, like...
Yes, yeah.
Were you like listening to Illuvium back then yet or not?
At that
really?
time, no, but I was listening to... I'm sorry, I don't want to keep referencing back to Owl City all the time. But
No, we are in the Owl City mode. That's okay. We'll get
because I'm always in the Owl City
Yeah.
mode. He had his one project was called Port Blue, where he did like all ambient stuff. I later came to find out that Port Blue was like heavily inspired by like Illuvium and like Boards of Canada.
Really? Okay.
Boards of Canada. Well, we can talk about them later, but
that's number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
That's number 2 on the list.
So yeah, I was only like the only ambient music that I knew of was his ambient music, which was heavily influenced by these other like goats of ambient music.
Yeah. That's awesome. I would love to tap into this. Ant's got a celebrity question.
Where's Ant at right now?
Ant's at work.
All right, so Ant has a question. Ant, you're live. You're on camera right now.
What's up, y'all? My phone is busted, so my camera looks mad drain gang right now. I'm live from work out here. First off, Elroy, I'm such a big fan. I can't believe I'm out here live on this show to ask you this special question.
Appreciate it.
I just want to know, Biscuit, who do you have in the NBA Finals and why?
Who's in the NBA Finals?
Who do you have in the NBA Finals?
Nuggets and Heat. Oh.
Thank you, Ant, for your celebrity question. We love you.
I'm gonna have to go Nuggets. Just because of Jokic, the abominable snowman.
Ty, you got anything to say about this?
Because here's the thing, y'all. For some context, we play a lot of ball together, but I'm not very educated on ball.
Which way is the front?
The golden, there you go.
Why?
I just told you Jokic. I just believe in Jokic as
Bro, the storyline is laid out.
No, okay.
For the Heat to win.
I enjoy the
this finals.
storyline, but not as much as I enjoy Jokic himself.
That's a valid excuse, but I don't think it overpowers the storyline.
I also don't think it does, but from a personal preference, I like looking at Jokic.
Bro,
I like
agree.
seeing
He's
him
master facilitator.
commandeer the offense.
Yeah, you're right. But I disagree.
I respect that. But
All right, we're on different wavelengths, but we'll see, bro.
We'll see.
All right, y'all. Okay, where were we?
he
Shout out
upset?
basketball. Yeah, I think Ant's not. I think Ant's
upset at
Ant is unhappy. I have in my notes, I'm a slut for a backstory. Tell me about what growing up was like for you. Before we do that, let's just finish off where we are at. So you're doing you're putting out these ambient pieces for a while at this point.
Yeah.
This is 15. You put your first ambient album out. Do you remember the name of your artist name?
Yeah, but I'm not saying.
You're not gonna say it?
Because I don't know if I succeeded in erasing all of it from the internet.
Oh no.
It was animal related though.
It was animal related. Okay, so walk us through your going public online experience. So your first one was an animal related artist name in which you put out a train based 50-minute ambient album, which I'm dying to hear. It sounds great.
Train-based music.
Train-based music. Talk me through it.
I kind of had many years in a row where I would make an artist project, do like an album or some sort of project. It was always concept. It was like I wanted to tell some sort of consistent story with these projects. They were all in like kind of different styles, but usually ambient leaning. So I did like 2 or 3 more projects that were more in the ambient style.
Were these all animal related?
Yes, they were. And then when I got Ableton, there was like a huge shift where like I got really into SoundCloud.
So all of the ambient pieces were Reason. Oh,
Yeah.
dope. Okay,
think
this is like
because-
getting into how DAW affects your
Exactly.
compositions.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I think that part of why that was is I just didn't know how to make stuff like knock in Reason.
But do you feel like you wanted to make shit that knocked in Reason?
I think kind of, but not totally.
Okay.
There was like an interest, And I think that's part of why subconsciously I switched to Ableton, because I was like, I want to make something that's like louder. So I switched over to Ableton, got into SoundCloud, and I was listening to like some like niche like future bass, but like these weird pockets. Like there was an account called Fan Service on SoundCloud that was like anime inspired, future bass leaning, like a collective of like 30 motherfuckers.
Was it like kawaii future bass or just like raw future
almost,
bass?
But there was like some of the people in there were making ambient shit too. Like it was all, you know, do you know Izzard?
No. I wasn't super. You got it. I didn't really get into any.
He goes by
things.
Oak Screen now. I
know Oak Screen.
I think he was. Yeah, he was on the 84, 85 album.
Yeah, I know
Hanger.
Oak Screen. Yeah.
I think he was on Fan Service initially because his older music was like more ambient.
Hanger is the best song of all time.
And so yeah, I got into that stuff, and then like I would start messaging people on SoundCloud asking them like how they were making these sorts of things.
Oh my god, that's awesome! What?
And then I started making like heavier hitting stuff in Ableton. Like I was really focusing on like punch and like loudness and
knock, one would say.
Yeah, knock. Yeah. And so I was on the knock wave for like a couple of years. Okay, so yeah, I did that, and then I became focused on the single mindset, which I feel like I've maintained since then, where like I would see other like future bass adjacent artists putting out like single, like they would put out one song every like month or whatever. So I did that for a little bit. And the whole time in the background, I was singing and like writing songs that I just didn't think were good. But the end goal was to make music like that I sung over.
Like future bass that you sung over.
Yeah, like these hard hitting, like crazy shit, but like I would sing on it.
Just like hearing YouTube intros in my head right now. Just like,
but me just be like singing some shit.
Yeah.
But I like was trying and it just wasn't, the execution just wasn't there.
Were they singing over it?
No,
yeah, because no one was really singing over future bass.
No,
like
and when
properly.
they did, it usually
it
wasn't
was
very
weird.
good.
Yeah.
But there were some really good remixes.
Right. Oh yeah, that's not. I mean, I guess like Ellie Goulding happened, which isn't really future bass. I guess like the Calvin Harris. I don't know.
The goated like SoundCloud future bass people would take. I'm trying to think of like a prime example of this.
Okay, Burn by Ellie Goulding. There was like there was a Burn Ellie Goulding remix.
Future bass remix.
I think it was like during like the trap era though. It was like post future. Maybe that was post
I think that's
bass?
the future. That's the thing, because I was actually about to say like future bass and trap had this sort of overlap. I think because they were kind of, trap music had been popular for a little bit when future bass became popular, but I feel like everything was inspired by trap.
Yeah, which
still is basically.
Yeah. I'd forgotten that trap as a genre existed until just now.
Yeah.
That what was that? What happened?
I know,
there?
yeah.
That was crazy.
I mean, I'm not huge on the history of it, but I think it was a thing since like late 2000s.
Wow, yeah.
Or early 2010s maybe.
I'm trying to like remember like what trap sounded like right now.
I don't know. I just think about like early like Young Thug and shit like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which I think was like early 2010s. Future bass did all that stuff, but it just made it like really loud and like synths and stuff. I didn't want my music to sound like what the future bass remixes sounded like. I just wanted it to be like, I think this gets into like why I just couldn't put it out, because like it just wasn't what I wanted out of the music. I just had zero idea.
Right.
So trying to sing on it just never worked because I like didn't know how to sing, and like I didn't know how to process it. And, I didn't know how to write songs properly.
So had you sung like ever before you started recording it? Like was singing a part of your life?
Yeah, but not like huge. Like I don't know. I was never like, I feel like some people are like, oh yeah, like I was always singing around the house. Or, like singing in the shower. Like I was never that into singing. I feel like. Damn. Because even like Owl City sung in a way that was so like weird, where it was like, to me, he has like the most beautiful voice of all time. But I know a lot of people don't agree with that.
He sounds like a fucking what are those things called where they like make a robot that sings type of shit?
He's like was
they
AI
sound like
sounding.
that. Yeah, they sound AI.
Which is why I loved it, because it was just so perfect.
Yeah, dude. Like the way like it would just glide from note to note. It was like so strange. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I think that's part of why, to me, singing was like, it was almost a secondary thing where I feel like even when I started to get better, like this is maybe skipping a little bit, but even when I like did the Elroy stuff initially, I viewed the voice as an almost like secondary thing where it was like, I think the songwriting was important, but the way my voice sounded, like whether or not it sounded processed or like weird, like didn't matter. I just wanted it to sound like unique, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I was never super interested in like really good singing, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I was also really into Death Cab for Cutie, who their singer also has like a weird voice.
Yeah. Like objectively awful, but it's like, I want to hear that for the rest of my life.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was kind of really into singers like that.
Yeah. So. Death Cab for Cutie is good. He's not objectively awful, but a lot of like genres in like the emo or artists in the emo genre are like bad.
Their voices are just super raw and like that's what makes them.
That's what makes it good. I remember my dad saying some shit where it was like he was listening to a song and he was like, man, because it was like 5th grade or something when we were like watching American Idol like religiously after school and shit like that. And we were like listening to a song just like a song. Can't remember what it was. And he was like, man, you know what's crazy? This is an incredible song with incredible delivery, and they would just not make it past the first round of American Idol.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that is like wildly inspiring. Like weirdly.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think.
In fact, it's almost like opposites. Like it's almost like one, like you can't, like American Idol type W singing is not like, that's not what like grabs people type of shit.
No, but I do think there is a certain overlap where like what I've seen from those singing shows, it is the people with like these weird voices. That's what people like. Cause like,
right. Okay.
It's the people who vote on those singers on those shows. I think.
Okay.
You gotta have some like weird thing going on with your voice.
Dude, I just felt like it was always just like the most like okay, like objectively sure she can do the like, woo, you know what I mean? Like fucking, who won American Idol ever?
Sundance Head.
David Archuleta. Damn, I feel like I'm
Chris Daughtry was like top 5, I think, but
I don't remember that. Yeah. See, I'm not getting any of these names, but anyway, point is, I felt like it was always so generic. Whereas like the shit that was actually like making waves was always so like just the person, like so themselves and so like almost untrained would be like a word.
Yeah.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programs to say that Bryce was being an idiot. Obviously, there's incredibly successful, incredibly well-trained, like objectively good singers. Like, I don't know what I was talking about. Like, especially even during like the era that I was talking about. Like, we had like Rihanna, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, just like off rip, even Mariah Carey, like just like incredibly good singers that were doing incredibly well and really cool things. So anyway, I don't know what I was talking about. Back to the show.
I think in general with art, like the technical aspect is kind of secondary. Usually. It's just like if you can do something kind of like cool and interesting, like that's kind of what I just feel like that's what art is about. Just do something cool. Like
yeah. And be yourself and yada yada. So was the Elroy project the first thing you released with your voice on it?
No. So I made a full length with my voice.
Dude, how many full lengths have you made and published?
Dude, a lot.
Oh my God.
A lot. I mean, like 6 or 7 maybe.
Holy cannoli.
But there's one full length. I had one full length.
6 or 7. So there's just like a day of music.
Yeah, there was a lot of music, but it was like mostly ambient. Some was
then one with your voice.
Yeah, there's one with my voice that I made in high school. But I was still in Reason when I made that. That was like my goodbye to Reason. Because I made that album, and then when it was done, I like released it and was just like, yeah, this is just like not what I want to do.
Was there like response on the shit we were putting out at that point? Like on the
I got like 2 comments on SoundCloud over the course of like 3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
It just like it wasn't good. Like it wasn't awful, but just like wasn't.
Just didn't hit.
Yeah, because I was singing like. I would record in the middle of the night when my family was asleep because I was super self-conscious about my voice, and I would sing in this like really whispery tone, and then I didn't know how to use autotune, so it wasn't autotune. I didn't know how to EQ, so it wasn't EQ.
Oh, it's spicy.
Yeah.
Did you know how to compress at that point?
No, but I do remember putting a compressor on the vocal and just like leaving it there.
It's insane. I feel like that was like one of the turning points in my life. Was like learning how compression worked. Yeah.
Because I learned compression to make my kicks knock. That was in Ableton.
That was an Ableton mode
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow, yeah. I did not learn what compression was until like 2018. It was insane.
It is still like a weird thing.
It's still like,
I feel like I understand it when I'm using it, but to like explain it, I'm like,
so
when something goes over the threshold, it gets dynamic.
dynamics. If you make it's loud. So, and that shit's. Oh my God. I remember when I first started trying to like make tutorials about it, this was like 3 years into like putting music onto the internet and like it doing well. And I'm like, all right, this is how compression works. And then I'll like record the camera and I'll be like, dude, I don't know how compression works.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I remember like shout out Lahima, fucking explained it like in the YouTube comments. Like I would like explain compression and he was like, so not quite.
You like asked in the comments?
No, like I like explained compression in this video. Oh. And Lahima was like, yo, so like it's not really how knee works. And I still don't know how knee works.
On your video explaining how compression works.
So I think we got the rest of it right, but the knee I just did not have. I wouldn't be able to explain it now probably.
Hey, I'll give you some knee later though in Smash.
Captain Falcon?
Yeah. Dude, we gotta do a Smash stream. We gotta do a Smash stream.
Dude. We do have to do a Smash stream and a Gang Beast stream.
Yeah.
Gang Beast has been a fucking therapy recently. Therapy has also been therapy, so that's good. But fucking anyway, but yeah. So you put out the thing where you're singing on Reason. You go to Ableton. You start making Future Bass, which still exists on SoundCloud.
It does. Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Some of it does. Some of it does.
Are you gonna drop the name?
No.
Okay. No. The context.
No, but there is an account on SoundCloud that has mysteriously reposted like all of the Elroy songs, and that's me. So if you can find that.
So there's like an account that has reposted every Elroy song.
I think I stopped eventually because like I got enough traction that I was like, I don't really need to do this.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's
like I was
cool.
doing it in the very beginning because I was like, I need to like get somebody to listen to
Oh,
this.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think your brother showed me some of it. And I remember just being furious at how good it was. I was just like, dude,
it was pretty, I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Like, that was the shit.
Yeah, it was some like loud, like, yeah. Like all the snare, I still use like a lot of those sounds. Like specifically drum sound. Like I think a lot of this shit I learned about drums during the Future Bass.
Yeah.
Time of my life, I still use now because that was all like the drums, like transients, and like drums just cutting through the mix was always a thing in that music. And I still
so
do that
true.
now.
Yeah. I mean, everything's like sidechained to like a billion in that genre. Yeah. It's so crazy. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just remembering like Tom feels like the boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that every.
Dude, it was good music. Like it was just very
yeah.
well made, and it was really meticulous.
Yeah, meticulous. Yeah, and I think that like shows in your music now. It's just like super meticulous, and like you've talked about IDM earlier today as well, which is like also like I don't know. We were talking the other day about how you just like fill every. I can't remember what context we were talking about it when this first came up. But you once told me, I was like, yeah, any space in the song I just want to fill with a sound. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, that's classic. That's so fire. Yeah.
Yeah, which, that does come heavy from IDM, too, for sure. But my introduction to IDM was Owl City, because, y'all, like, because everybody's heard Fireflies, and you've maybe heard, like, Vanilla Twilight or whatever. Just go listen to the Owl City albums. Like, listen to, like, Maybe I'm Dreaming, which is his second album, and just listen to the drums. Like, just, if you don't like his voice or whatever, just listen to the drums, and they're gonna fucking blow your mind. They're just like they just like do like they don't repeat themselves. Like the patterns are like they're just shit happening like over here, over there, like all these crazy stutters.
And it's all like super tiny, like they're not like huge. You know what I mean? Like, they're not like they're all real tiny.
They're all these tiny little sounds that are just like flittering all over the place. Which still like I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to make drums as good as him.
Damn.
Because he just consistently. I'm not gonna lie, his last albums were trash. I don't know what happened to him, but before
I was gonna ask you about that. Like, what is your anyway? Go on.
I don't like his newer music, but his first couple albums were just like impeccable. again, if you don't like his voice or whatever, I understand that. I think his voice is perfect. The songwriting is perfect, but the drums specifically are perfect. Like they just do, yeah, they're just perfect albums. His early stuff,
Dude,
I'm sorry to keep gloating about
I love
him,
you
but
gushing. You're gushing.
I am, yes.
Yeah, that's
Gushing.
Gushing. I think it's beautiful, bro. It's great. Honestly, I feel like you have high standards in art. I think it's rare to see you gush about art.
Thanks. Yeah.
This might be the most I've ever seen you gush about art, actually.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I mean, there are some people out there who make good music, but like he just did things in a way that even like to this day,
Yeah.
like 10 years after having gotten into him, like I still can go back to those songs and I'm just like, wow, like that's just really impressive.
Have you looked into like what you think changed? Like what you think maybe in his life or like in the way he makes music like changed as he to like kind of make the new albums hit not as hard for you?
I mean, obviously he signed a big record deal like with Fireflies.
Was that do you feel like after Fireflies is when it started going
the
to
album after that, his first
signed album,
I think was good. It was like good in a different way. And the next one was not very good, and then it kind of just got worse.
Damn.
Because they started bringing writers on, and I think he had such an idiosyncratic way of making music.
What does that word mean? Sorry.
Just like off kilter. Like,
yeah.
It was just like only he would do things in that way.
Yeah.
And I know that like if you look at the credits on his newer stuff, like there was just people working on stuff with him. And he started singing about, because his lyrics like never made sense. They were always these like dreamy, like what is he talking about sort of thing. And then they became more real, and he was like talking about real life stuff.
Yeah.
And he just can't really do that.
There was that one song where he was like talking about parties or something. Was
Good
that a
Time?
thing? Yeah, Good Time. Yeah. What?
Like that sort
I didn't know that was him. I was like, what?
That sort of stuff just got kind of weird because it was, I don't know. His music so consistently was in this really weird zone.
Yeah.
That like only he occupied kind of.
Yeah.
And then it just wasn't. And like it just hasn't really been since then.
I haven't gone really into Owl City. I think I have listened to the second album. It's trash. Just kidding. I can't remember. But it's just, nothing sounds like that. And what's crazy is how clear every sound is.
Yeah, dude.
What?
His voice too, like.
Yeah.
You can hear every single word he says on first listen. You know exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
And there's no reverb on the vocal. I hate reverb.
It's so dry, dude. I love dry vocals. Yeah.
There's like nothing on his voice except for just like compression. And, like, tune or whatever.
Learn how to compress.
Yeah.
I have been wondering how he tuned his vocals for so long.
I think it was Melodyne.
Yeah,
from
that
my
makes
research,
sense.
and I'm sure he just meticulously
From your research.
Dude, I was in there, bro, as a little kid. Like, how the fuck did that?
That's so dope. That's so beautiful. Having that like concept of just like I'm just looking this up. Like I'm just I feel like I've always, since I met you, you've always been a very curious person. But would you feel like, okay, this is very off topic, but I wanted to ask about this. How do you think people around you would have described like baby Elroy, like you as like a kid?
I do think curious is the first word that comes to mind. Like I think I was always like, I don't know. I've seen home videos of me as a kid, which, have you ever done that before? Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. Because you see like these mannerisms that you still
have.
Yeah, you still have. And there were so many moments in those videos where like I would, like something would happen and I would just kind of like lose track of everything that was going on around me. Sort of this like hyper focus sort of thing. Like there was that MIDI keyboard I was talking about, the Buzz Lightyear one. Yeah. There's a video of me opening that on Christmas. And my siblings were like going crazy about all their presents, and I'd woken up late that morning, so they were all excited to show me the things they got. Yeah. And they were trying to show, oh, yo, look at this. And like I was just staring at this piano like for like 5 minutes, bro. My brothers were like showing all this shit in my face, and I was just,
no way, bro. I would pay money to see that. This is going to be in a documentary one day. We're just like, dun, 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 dun. It's like, it's at that moment. Dun, 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 dun. And like the fucking like Bones bass lines like winding up type shit. And it's like, Elroy discovered music. It's like, there was a party. It's like, and like it all pops stage stars. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The fucking Lil Yachty walk out. Oh my God. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think like I've always like, if something is interesting to me, it's like the only thing that matters. And I feel like that's something I had as a kid and I still have now. I mean, obviously that's not sometimes it's to a detriment, but I think for the most part, I like that trait about myself where like, because it can be very mundane things too.
Yeah.
It's like just dumb, like, oh, that's a cool bird. And then like a bunch of time just goes by because I'm just like, that's such a cool bird.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's something that I always did as a kid and I still do that now.
It sounds like that would make you feel very present though.
Yeah.
In like every moment.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I feel like I was a lot like that as a kid. But I was super outgoing as a kid, which is funny because I don't know. I feel like I'm like usually on one side or the other. Like I'm either wanting to entertain everybody or just wanting to like
entertain yourself.
Yeah, or like see something or like be within whatever is happening.
I feel that from you. I think living from you, I've felt that balance. Yeah.
You think so?
That duality. Yeah. For sure.
It's kind of, I don't know. It's weird to like sit in the middle of that for me. It's kind of hard to do both things at the same time for me. Cause I was like in elementary school and middle school, I was like friends with everybody. And like, I was the type of kid to like, if like a kid was getting bullied, like I wanted to like be friends with that kid and like try to like bring them into like the other group that didn't like that kid. But then I went to a different school for high school and was surrounded by a bunch of people who I feel like were just like on a different wavelength than I was. And I became super quiet. And I feel like I was in that reserved mode like the whole time, which was good in a lot of ways because that's when I really started to like dig into the music. And like I used to play a lot of sports and like be a huge athlete. But that's when I was like, yeah, I don't really want to. It's fun, it's cool, but it's like doesn't really go. It doesn't like, I don't know. It just wasn't really fulfilling, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
There's a bunch of time put into it for like no reason is kind of what it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, American high school sports are super weird. Like doing like 2 hours a day every day after school does not make any sense. I just want to make that fucking clear. So like anybody who's going into like administration in American high school sports, what the fuck are y'all doing?
I know.
It makes like the one thing you want in a child's life is variety. Anyway,
that's true.
My fault.
I mean, if you enjoy him though, like definitely.
Sure, bro, but you can just like play on your own time. Like, bro, like I feel like every country that's like won any World Cup, like they don't do like 5 hours. They don't do like 2 hours after school type of shit. It's like you play soccer at your school like 2 out of the 7 days of the week, and then maybe you go play club on the weekends or something like that. But there's a play to it that makes it super important, I think.
Yeah.
And dude, I feel like we wring the play out of people in this country.
That's true. I was lacrosse. Lacrosse was like my main sport. And like, my high school was so intense about that I was just like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, because I remember you talking about how much like talk to us about how you enjoyed playing lacrosse. Like, what was the things you enjoyed doing playing lacrosse?
When I first started playing, it was like the most fun in the world because like you just, I don't know, you just like. It was like there's not really an expectation, but at the same time, like you can go as hard as you want to.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember going super hard in like my early years of lacrosse. But then when it started becoming this thing where it was like, okay, now I'm doing like training camps in the summer. And now I have to go travel somewhere in the summer to like do a tournament. Yeah. It's like, dude, like I just want to like play video games and like hang out with my brothers and shit.
Bro, you're like 15 at this point?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like bro, dude, it's summer.
Look at a 15-year-old. They are small people. Like, as you know, if there's 15-year-olds in the chat, like, y'all are babies. Like, be chill on yourselves. You know what I mean? Like, get a good night's sleep or some shit. Like, fuck me.
Yeah, dude.
Y'all don't have to pay taxes. Don't worry about it. Like, relax.
So, like, yeah, as soon as I got into high school, like, I was just like, nah. My high school had a sports requirement, so that's when I started, like, lifting weights and, like, doing stuff like that because that fulfilled my sport requirement. And then I played ultimate frisbee. Which was
fire, dude. All right. I have never seen somebody handle an object with as much skill as Elroy handling a frisbee.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all gotta see me toss the disc.
Wet with it, bro. I would love to play ultimate frisbee. That shit is so dope. I'm so ass, but it's all good.
Yeah, ultimate frisbee. Honestly, now that I think about it, was such a good outlet in high school. Because it was like, because I tried really. I'm not huge into like just participating in something. Like I want to be good at it and like I want to like go hard. So like I would go hard at ultimate frisbee. But it was the sort of thing where like it was just enjoyable. It was like and it was my actual like friends that were on the team with me.
Dope.
And, like, we started getting really good and like winning these games and like pulling out these clutch performances and like it just became this little side quest thing where it was like, yeah, dude, like after school I'm gonna go, because I had a car at that point too. It was like I'm gonna go drive to Ultimate Frisbee, which is down at the park like 10 minutes away. Like we're gonna go grind. We're gonna stay after practice too and like listen to our favorite music and just like get really good at the form. Yeah. But it was like for a purely intrinsic reason. It was just like
you're
it
just
feels
enjoying it.
good to be able to whip that disc,
dude.
Like, and a couple of my friends were on the same wavelength, so like
just
we would
ripping
whip
it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like I like just contextually. Never play frisbee with Elroy casually. It is a nightmarish experience. It's like having a fucking. It could like the disc could be made out of metal for like how the speed at which you throw that thing. It is insanity. Ryan, who's also extremely would be decently experienced at frisbee, is just like, what are you doing? Like, fucking wild. But what's cool about that is it sounds like. I mean, when I think about ultimate frisbee as a sport, no offense to. Like, this is not meant to, like, downgrade anybody who, like, plays a shitload of ultimate frisbee, but, like, it's not really a sport that, like, most people grind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that kind of, it sounds like it was almost, like, that may have given you the freedom to go as hard as you want.
Dude, yeah, for sure, yeah. I feel like that's exactly why. It was almost like this, like, novelty thing when I started playing it.
Yeah.
Where it was like, dude, I don't even know how to throw this thing.
Yeah.
But, like, the coach showed us, like, the little form for like the flick, which is it's like once you start being able to do this, it just becomes this addicting thing. Honestly, in a similar way, I feel like most sports are kind of like that when you pick them up, where it's like it just feels so good on like a tactile level.
Yes.
Like when you learn the proper like basketball form, which I'm not even gonna claim to have, but like
he does not have that. Just to be clear.
But when you learn to be able to consistently make some baskets in whatever way.
Whatever way you want to make them.
Like, you're just like, oh, I want to keep doing that.
Dude, we're going to put in a clip of you doing your move in post, Tyus. Doing it currently. The spin-off fadeaway where you just glide.
Facts. Yeah, like sports, I mean, getting physical is nice.
Facts.
I feel like that's a well-studied thing.
Being in one's body, being present in one's body.
Yeah.
It's a special thing.
Yeah.
I feel like especially in like a brain in which sometimes you can float. Sometimes like you'll float into like looking at the bird or like looking at the keyboard. Like being physical is like such like a like grounding.
Oh yeah, I think especially as artists too, because like most of what we do is like trying to figure things out up here.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. We had a whole day where there was a whole day in this household which we debated the merits, like the differences between being like professional athletes and like professional musicians. Oh man, it's so much better. Like you just wake up and you like get physical. That's like going to the gym, eating healthy. That's all part of your job. Like I don't get it. Why can we not just do that?
No, I know. I have fantasized the lifestyle of like an athlete for so long. Cause like, yeah, I mean, being an artist is just so nebulous. Like you can spend all your time on it every day and make all the progress in the world or make none.
Yeah, you can do like actively nothing. You can do
hours.
Everything for hours, and then like if the output's nothing, it's like
exactly.
Well,
where it's like if you're working on some sort of physical thing, like getting a form down, eating healthy, it's like
there's only positive in that. Yeah,
you can't you strain your muscle. Like you want your muscle to grow, you strain it, it will grow.
There's
no question about that.
Where it's like, okay, you want to like put out a song, work on a song. It's like, no. But then like on the other hand about that, it's like then it's like, damn, you're like beating your shit up for like. And I don't know. What do you? I don't know. It's hard to make money playing sports as well.
It is. Yeah. I don't think. Yeah.
Historically, making music has also been incredibly difficult, but I would say like now it's with the internet, it's gotten easier
Yes.
than like
but
the 70s.
Yes. But I feel like we've had this conversation before where like you need to be better now. I'm rethinking that now. That was my opinion on that. Because it's so saturated that like you have to like stand out in a certain way. But at the same time, if you weren't at a certain level back then, you wouldn't even get to go in the studio.
Yeah.
In the studio.
Okay. Well, that was episode 2. A little bit more chaotic this time as we both catch our footing in the interview setting. But I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. If you'd like to support the show, you can by sharing it with your friends or rating it 5 stars in any podcasting app you're using. And you can support directly by going to patreon.com/Bryce Bishop. And that's it. I hope you're doing well. I'm Bryce, and thank you for being part of my life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.